Hello everybody, welcome back to Eileen's Craft Nook. Alright, so today I'm working on a large project. This is a clock mold that I picked up from Temu, and it came with these numbers as well, which I'll also pour with the resin. And I have this very large, it's not a sticker, I think it's like a window cling that I got from Temu. So I'm not going to use the whole thing obviously, but I am going to try my best. It won't fit this entire tree on there, but a good part of it will fit on there. I might lose just a little bit around the edges, and then I can add some snowflakes into the negative space. I was hoping to fit the Merry Christmas in, but that's not going to fit in. But I think this will be gorgeous and a piece that you can bring out year over year. And it's a good size. So I'm going to start with just a base layer. I think because when I peel this, it's not clear. I'm going to do the base layer to match the white of the cling as close as possible. That way it can blend in. I'm just going to open this just to be sure, but I'm almost positive that this is not, that it's white around when you pull it up. Let's just take a look. If it's clear, oh, it is clear. Okay, so it is clear. Well, that makes a difference. So I could really do my base layer in any color. I think I'd probably still do it the white. I think that's what's going to make it pop the most, kind of like what you see here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my resin mixed up. I'm not sure how much this takes. It's not real thick, but it's a big area. So I think I'll start with, because I'm going to do two layers. I'm going to do a bottom layer in the white, put this sticker on, and then do a top layer in the clear. So I think I might start with a cup, maybe a little more than a cup, and then let it dry and then add sticker. So I'll be right back. This is a pretty big mold, and it won't fit on my balance board, so I'm using my leveling board. So I just have it on my desk, and my desk isn't even, so I'm hoping that I'll probably end up having to use some popsicle sticks in order to kind of leveled up a bit better. I did decide to go with this is just a white, so this is a white pigment powder from Reflections that I picked up at Michael's, and I made up 8 ounces to start with, and I'm using a 1-to-1 resin. Now, 8 ounces was not enough. I, kind of tried my best to get this to spread, but I was worried that, as it started to dry, sometimes it'll pull away from the edges. So I did make another 3/4 of a cup up, and that did the trick. So 1 3/4 a cup for the first layer is what I used. And like I mentioned, I did have to use some popsicle sticks because it was definitely not going to dry level. So here it is dry. You can see I had to use those popsicle sticks. I had to babysit this actually quite a bit. I kept coming in to check on, if it was pulling too much to one side or the other, and it's not completely level. This first flavor is not completely level. Next time, if I use this mold, I am definitely going to find a different table to do on the one that is more level, so that I don't have to, use those darn popsicle sticks to try to prop it up. So what I'm doing here is, I'm just making a hole where that little centerpiece is, where you put the clock part, the hands to come through. And I just did like a little X cut in the middle there, so that rather than cutting a hole in it, I did the little X so that it'll just come up around that little piece, the window cling, and that worked out really well. I was worried if I cut a hole in there, it would do it too quickly, too big, so this worked out better. So now I'm just kind of pushing it down. I did wait it was actually a day and a half for that bottom layer to dry. It took its time, mostly just because it was so flat and my room is cool, so it took a while to dry. So so here I decided to use, I did decide I wanted that Merry Christmas on there. It wouldn't fit as one word the way it is right now, so I cut it in half, and I'm going to put one Mary on one side and then Christmas on the other. I just kind of had to play with it a bit to get the proper placement that I wanted. I did decide on Mary on one side and then Christmas on the other. It's really cute. And then it's just a matter of, working with these window clings is actually pretty nice. They're easy to work with. They're not, because they're not sticky, it's not like a sticker where you're playing with it. And you can, pick them up and put them back down again. As long as your resin's good and dry, your base layer is good and dry. So definitely would work with these again. Now, I do like this, but the piece that it came with had a lot of different types of snowflakes on there and little branches. So I'm just going to take some time and I'm going to just fill in the negative space. I'm making this is going to be a busy little clock. I have to say, once I get finished, I wanted to put in as much as possible. For those who are minimalists, you might have left it just with the tree piece, but I like the way it turned out. I'm just grabbing all these little snowflakes and everything that came as part of this window cling. Just filling in all the negative space. I did take some of the snowflakes and cut off like the edge of it and then put it against the edge of the mold so that, it looked like part of a snowflake hanging, coming in to the mold, which looked quite nice as well. Here I'm taking this is a squeegee I use for my Cricut vinyl, and these window clings are pretty sturdy. So this squeegee has a nice soft felty type edge. So I'm just getting those air bubbles out before I add my clear coat. Now with this clear coat, I did again want to make it a bit more level, so I actually used my level this time, got all the popsicle sticks under there before I poured. I did want to add a little bit of glitter, not a whole lot, just a little bit, so that this top coat had just a bit of sparkle to it. Definitely not going overboard with the glitter. So here I am just pouring this top coat. Now I did make 2 cups, as I mentioned, with this, and out of that 2 cups I also did a couple of additional ornaments, and I did all the numbers. So the numbers really don't take a lot. I mean, that's a pretty small mold. So I wanted to make sure that there was no bubbles in here. So I just took, my little stick and just went around the edges to make sure there's no bubbles. I did spritz it with my isopropyl alcohol, and when after that, had dried, I went in with my my lighter as well, just to make sure I had a nice, clear, blemish-free top coat. And, then I plan on letting this dry for another at least 24 hours because, again, it's a thin coat. Now, the resin I use for the top here is actually a 3-to-1. It's a lot thinner. I wanted something thinner because it's less bubbly. And this time of year, I definitely get a lot of bubbles. So here it is. It's been a full day. It's still not ready to demold, so I'm going to let it sit for another day. And here's the thing I discovered with these darn numbers. It has 1, 0 to 9, but it doesn't give you anything extra to make the number 12 or the number 11 or the 10. So you actually have to pour 4 additional ones. So 1 for 11, 1 for 12, so 2 for 11, 1 for 12, 1 for 10. And then you have to pour another 2 as well. So if you get this mold, just keep that in mind. I did make them all, but I have to go back and make another 2. I have to make a few more 1s in order to have all the numbers that I need. Now, you can buy these stick-on numbers and such if you don't want to pour them, or you could just use a UV resin, whatever works best for you. Now, before I let you go, because I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer before I take it out, I did, with my extra resin yesterday, I did finish off a couple pairs of earrings that I had made. These are more like a winter type of earrings, so I just used like the nail embellishments for these, and they're little nail stickers that I put on, and then just covered it with a clear coat. It says winter on the one side, and it's got like a deer and the trees in that pretty blue color. And then the matching one that I made they're not the same stickers, but they complement each other. So this one has the bear on it, and it says I think it says winter time. So I just thought these were pretty. I'll have to trim them up a bit, but they'll make cute winter earrings. And then I also had some extra. I just took some of my stickers that I got from the dollar store, did a base coat, and then add the stickers and put the clear layer on top. So just some fun pendants. I like these little things. Just to use up your extra resin. I tend to give them to just give them away to people. Sometimes I give them to my son to take in to give his friends at school. Whatever. You can get the little necklace bands fairly inexpensive on Temu or Amazon or even at the dollar store. So these were just some fun extras that I had to use up. These little jewelry molds usually don't use much resin at all, so it's a great way to use your extra resin and have some cute little things on the side. So this is a pretty little cardinal. It's pretty sparkly. Yeah, so there's that. So let's go ahead now. This is the next day. So this is been sitting here for 2 full days. It's definitely good and dry now. So let's go ahead and get it out of the mold. And as I'd mentioned, I couldn't. This wouldn't fit on my leveling board, so it's not 100% level, but it's good. I love it. I think I will probably take like a marker, maybe silver or something to the edge. I haven't decided yet, but here I am just going to add the numbers. I don't have enough for the number 11 yet. I have to pour that number 1 a couple more times. And because I'm using the two-part epoxy, of course, it takes, you pour it, you have to leave it set for a day. So if I was doing it again next time, I'd probably maybe go ahead with the UV resin so I can have the numbers right away. So, and I'll end up having to glue these on, so, just to make them permanent. Don't use hot glue on resin. It does not stick very well. You'll want to use something more permanent, E6000 or something of that sort, whatever your favorite permanent glue is. So you can see here for the number 10 and 11, I didn't have the proper one, so I'm not going to glue these on yet. And I also, excuse me, I'm waiting for my clock pieces to come in. I thought they'd be in by now. I had to order some larger ones with the longer hands. I have the smaller ones, but this one definitely needs something with the longer hands because this is a pretty big mold. And that's actually what I really like about it. It's going to look really nice on the wall. But here it is. I mean, I think this turned out fabulous. I think this is something that you'll put away and then you'll bring out year to year. I'm just showing you that when I end up putting these numbers on permanently, I will use a ruler in order to ensure that they're all evenly spaced from each other as well as evenly spaced from the edge of the mold. So here's more of a close-up. I think this piece is beautiful. It was not that expensive to make, 3.5 cups of resin. The mold wasn't that expensive. The window cling, I think, was $3 or $4. It really wasn't that expensive. And it's an absolutely gorgeous Christmas piece that you can use year to year. Thanks.